You guys ready?
No, we have a bad echo.
Causing that echo.
Hold on, it's one of the computers downstairs. Kim, is your computer on? You gotta cut that mic off. It's echoing on this and I'm trying to record. Okay, I'm better. I'm good. Good to go.
Are you ready?
Ready.
All right. Guys, this is the last session. I want you to be comfortable that you know all the skills. You've been exposed to all the skills. The only thing you need now is practice. So be sure to practice with people, practice with each other. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. The only thing you need right now is to practice these skills. Use them in actual conflict situations. Remember, if the other person has the problem, you active listen. When you have the problem, you send an I message. The most effective I message is a three-part I message. That's when you share what is the person's behavior that's causing challenges for you. What are your feelings about it? And then, what are the tangible effects? It is okay to use a one-part I message in some situations. It's okay to use a two-part I message in some situations. But whenever you can use a three-part, that will be most effective. Now, when you try to use a three-part I message, if you ever struggle with the tangible effect, you cannot select the tangible effect, how their behavior is affecting you tangibly. You probably have a values conflict. It just means that you think one way, they think the other way. And guys, you have to let people feel what they feel. You have to allow people to feel what they feel because they are coming from their vessel, their earthly vessel. Their earthly vessel is different than yours. But you have to allow people to feel what they feel. When you self-disclose, understand that self-disclosure can be very, very risky. When we did the example about the parent calling you an ineffective teacher, you have to be willing to hear that. And you say, you don't feel like I've done a good job with your child. All you're doing is stating what you think the other person is feeling. You're just trying to understand the other person. Don't forget, understanding does not mean agreement. Understanding does not mean agreement. Now, you may have a concern that um, the parent wants to go and tell the principal or the superintendent, and you really don't want that. And you might be feeling fear. You got to be willing to do that. You have to be willing to share that. When you say that you're going to take this to the principal or go straight to the superintendent, I'm very uncomfortable with that. As a matter of fact, that frightens me. It frightens me because now we have a third party, my supervisor, getting into the mix, and I feel like this is something that we can work out together. You have to be willing to self-disclose. You have to be willing to allow people to feel what they feel. You cannot take on other people's problems. Allow people to have a problem. Allow them to have the problem and allow them to have it all by themselves. And you have to be okay with that. You must be okay with people owning their own problems. You can't take on their problem. You take on their problem, now both of you have a problem. Somebody has to be objective enough to stand outside the box and look at the situation squarely. And that is you, because you have the skills. So allow people to own their own problem. A family goes over to grandma's house for Sunday dinner. Your little girl goes there and they sit at the table, and green beans is part of the dinner. Now understand, your little girl hates green beans. She hates green beans. You feel strongly that she should eat her vegetables. You feel strongly about that. So you say, honey, if you don't eat your vegetables, you can't have dessert. And guess what dessert is? Lemon meringue pie. Your daughter loves lemon meringue pie. She loves it. That's her favorite pie. And you tell her that if she does not eat her vegetables, she cannot eat the pie. Honey, if you don't eat your vegetables, you just have to go on upstairs to your room with no pie. And to your surprise, she gets up from the table and goes up to her room. You have to be okay with that, because she made a decision. She made a choice. And you know what her choice was? To forfeit the lemon meringue pie. You said, now why did you do that? Well, the answer is simple. She hates green beans more than she loves lemon meringue pie. You have to be okay with her making that decision. And you already told her that she must clean her plate or eat her vegetables before she gets dessert. So she made a decision to not eat the green beans and not eat the lemon meringue pie. Got to be careful with that. People operate from their own vessel. They operate from their own vessel. Their vessels is different than your vessel. A man is on a train with his kids, and his kids are wild. Not bad, but they just active, running up and down the aisle, roughhousing with each other, talking loudly, and he is just sitting there. You look around at the other passengers on the train, and everybody's looking like, man, why doesn't he say something? Why doesn't he get those kids to sit down? I can't even enjoy my book because the kids are running up and down the aisle. Why doesn't he say something? So, you muster up the courage and go to the man and you say, sir, your children are running up and down the aisle making noise, and that frustrates me because I can't concentrate on the book I'm trying to read. And I'm really frustrated with them running up and down the aisle and you not doing anything. So the man looks back at you and he says, oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. You know, we just left the hospital and their mother died. She just died. And I just don't know what to do. And I'm sorry about inconveniencing you, but this is hard on them and it's hard on me. And I just don't know what to do. Right then, your attitude about that man changed. Your attitude about the kids changed. Because right then, you got a glimpse inside of his vessel. You didn't know what was going on, you know, but you got a glimpse of what's going on after he explained it to you. You and the other passengers will then come and say, well, let me help you. I have some crayon. I have pencil and paper. Let me help you. At first you were irritated and frustrated. Now you're concerned because you got a glimpse inside of their vessel. Guys, communication is tough. It's tough and nobody teaches this stuff. So don't be surprised that you are the only one to have the skills. Because oftentimes you will be the only one. And you have to use the skills to help others. Now, verbalizing your knowledge. Uh-oh. Verbalizing your knowledge and your understanding of a skill comes across as a funky you message. And that should be can come across. For example, you're in a confrontation with a friend, and you should say something like, "You seem upset," or whatever it is. You are trying to put it active listen to them. You seem upset, or you sound frustrated, whatever it is. That's what you say. What you don't say is, "That's your problem. It ain't mine. I'm going to let you have your problem." Now, you are correct in your thinking about this. You know, it is their problem. It's not yours. And you are going to have to let them own their own problem. But what you don't do is verbalize that. See, you just know in your mind that that's their problem. You don't have to tell them that they have a problem. Just you know it internally because you have to know who owns the problem so that you can know how to fix it. If they have a problem, you active listening. You have a problem, you iMessage. But you don't have to tell them, well, that's your problem. You have to own your own problem. That's not effective. It's going to come across as a fuck you message. You have to understand problem ownership. Who owns the problem? You have to look at the situation squarely and you have to diagnose what's going on. Your problem, my problem. And see, oftentimes people try to prescribe before they diagnose. And prescription without diagnosis is malpractice. Prescription without diagnosis is malpractice. You cannot diagnose or you cannot prescribe unless you look at the situation squarely. You know whose problem, who owns the problem. You know what skills you use. You know if you own the problem and you give an iMessage, people are not used to receiving iMessage. So don't be surprised if they cut you off. And when they cut you off sharing their problem, you stop and you shift gears. You're going to shift gears between active listen, new message, active listen, new message. You are giving, active listen, iMessage. Sorry about that. Active listen, iMessage. You are going to give an iMessage because you are having the problem. And they are going to cut you off. Don't be surprised. When they cut you off, you stop immediately and shift gears. And active listen. You're not buying this, are you? Or you are really you're angry with me, or you're disappointed with me. You have to active listen so that you can know what's going on inside them. You cannot assume because see, most people don't diagnose. They immediately prescribe. And when they describe based on their autobiography. They prescribe based on their schemata. They prescribe based on their earthly vessel. And you can't do that because everybody's vessel is different. Guys, you know, you've heard of the golden rule. The golden rule is do unto others as you would have others do unto you. Now, I'm going to twist this and give you the platinum rule. But let me share this with you. Carolyn, my wife Carolyn, she loves Bluebell ice cream. She loves it. And Bluebell ice cream just came back on the market because, you know, it's been off the market for a couple of years. But they're now, you can find it on the shelves in Kansas City. And she only likes vanilla Bluebell. I like Bluebell ice cream too. And I like to doctor my ice cream. I like to put coconuts in it, coconut shavings. I like to put almond or walnut in it, and I mix it up, man. It is so good to me. But Carolyn doesn't like it. She does not like anything. She says, I don't want you messing up my vanilla ice cream. Just a vanilla ice cream. Now, if I want to do something very sweet for her or to her, and I go and I say, I'm going to make her, I'm going to get her a bowl of ice cream. And I get a bowl of ice cream, and I put some coconut shavings in it because I love coconut shavings. I put not only walnuts, but I put walnuts and almonds in it because I love walnuts and almonds. And I kind of mix it all up, and I take it to her and give it to her. She's going to look at me and say, I don't like all that stuff in there. I want my ice cream plain. So, see, the golden rule says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So, I gave her what I like. Here's the platinum rule. Platinum rule is this. And there's a subtle difference. Listen carefully. Do unto others as they would like to have you do unto them. So, see, at first I gave her what I like. I did unto her as I would have her do unto me. And that means I will fix it up and I would doctor it and I'll put the coconut shavings and the different variety of nuts in it and mix it up. That's what I like. So I don't do unto her as I would like to have done. I do unto her as she would like to have done unto her. Now, guys, these skills will work perfectly if you are disciplined enough to hang in, because it is going to be hard listening to somebody accuse you. It's going to be hard letting somebody criticize you. It's going to be hard to hear this minimum stuff that can come out of people's mouths. It's going to be hard. But you have to be disciplined. It's all about being disciplined. You have to be disciplined and use the skills. So, you actively listen. Now, keep in mind, understanding does not mean agreement. You've got to understand that. It doesn't mean agreement. It means that you're letting the person know that you understand. These skills work with any and everyone, even children. I want to play a segment of a mother using these skills with her little daughter. I hope this comes across that you can hear it. Hold on a second. Here we go.
Bonnie, I have a problem I like to bring up, and that is that Bonnie's so slow getting dressed in the morning that she makes the rest of us late. She makes the rest of the children late. We sometimes keep Terry from getting to the bus on time, and I have to go up there and help her get dressed, and then I don't get time to get breakfast for everyone else, and I have to rush, and yell at Terry, hurry up and get off on the bus. It's a big problem. You don't like to get dressed for school? I don't feel like going to school. I like to stay home and look at some when you're wide awake and look clothes. You'd rather stay home than go to school? Yeah. You'd rather stay home and play with Mommy? Yes, like play games. And look at books. You don't get much chance to do that. No, I don't even get to play games like we do at birthdays. Like we do at birthdays. But we don't
don't do it at school. Do different kind of games at school.
You like the games you have at school?
Not too much because I always play them.
You like them once, but you don't like to do them all the time?
Yeah, that's why I like to play fun games at home.
Because they're different from the games you play at school?
Yeah.
You don't like to keep doing the same thing
Yeah.
every day.
I don't like to keep on doing the same thing.
It's fun to have a little something different to do.
Yeah. Like do artwork at home.
Do you do artwork at school?
No. We only do coloring and painting and planner board.
It sounds like the main thing that you don't like about school is that you keep doing the same things over and over again. Is that right?
Not every day.
Sort
But
of.
we don't do the same things.
You don't do the same games every day?
We don't do, I do the same games every day, but sometimes when we're missing, well, I just don't like it. I like to stay home.
You don't like to learn new games?
Yeah.
You do.
I do.
But you rather stay home.
Yes. I really like to stay home and play games on the book, stay in bed and sleep. When you are home,
Only when I'm home.
when you are staying home all day, I want to stay home. When you're gone, I go to school.
Sounds to me like maybe you think Mommy doesn't stay home enough.
You don't. You always have to go to school to teach the class in the morning or in the nighttime.
You would rather I didn't go out so much.
Yeah.
You don't really see enough of me.
But every night I see a babysitter named Susan. When you're gone.
And you'd rather see me.
Yeah.
And you think maybe in the mornings when I'm home,
I stay home.
you'd like to stay home
Yeah.
so you could see Mommy.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. This does make a problem because I do have my classes that I have to teach. I wonder if we could work this problem out somehow. Do you have any ideas?
No.
I was thinking about maybe having some time when we could be together more in the afternoons when Ricky's taking his nap.
Would I
You would like that.
like?
You'd like to have time with just Mommy.
Without Randy, without Terry, without us, just with you and me playing games and reading stories. I wouldn't like you to read stories because then you get sleepy. When you read stories, you always know that.
Yes, that's right. Yes, then you'd like maybe instead of taking a nap, but you don't, that's another problem too, is that you haven't been taking your naps lately. And I've been thinking maybe that you don't really need them.
I don't like naps. Anyway, can we talk about that?
That's right, we're not talking about naps. But I was thinking that instead of taking naps, maybe we could set aside that time that we would usually, that where you would usually take a nap, and we could just have that time for ourselves.
So
Then maybe you would feel that you wanted to stay home in the mornings much. Think that would solve that problem?
I don't even know what you're saying.
I said that maybe if we had several hours in the afternoon, a couple hours in the afternoon, where we could just be together and do only the things that you wanted to do, and Mommy would keep working. Do the things that you wanted to do. Then maybe you would want to go to school in the mornings if you knew that we were going to have time in the afternoons.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to. I wanted go to school in the morning when it's nap time. Because you do have nap time at school. When it's nap time, you don't even work. You stay home and do what I want to do.
Only what you want Mommy to do, and no housework.
No.
Okay, well then shall we try that starting right away tomorrow?
Okay.
Okay.
But I have a story because you don't remember.
Then if I don't remember, then we'll have to solve that problem over again, won't we?
Yeah.
Right.
But Mommy, you should draw that fly over and put it on the room so you'll remember, and put it on the kitchen so you'll remember when I come home from school. You'll remember because you look at that sign. When you get out of bed, you remember because you look at that sign.
And I won't accidentally forget and start taking a nap myself or doing housework. Okay, that's a good idea. I'll make a sign then.
Then make it tonight when I'm sleeping.
Okay.
And then you can go after.
Okay.
Okay. This mother very effectively went through the challenge solving chart with her daughter. And you can see her going through different steps. There are 6 steps with challenge solving or problem solving. First, you have to define the problem in terms of needs. Second, you have to generate possible solutions. Third, evaluating solutions. Fourth, deciding on a mutually acceptable solution. Fifth, then you implement the solution. And then sixth, you evaluate, see how things are going. Now, yesterday I assigned you with one of the sections to share with everyone else on this Zoom conference. So, Vic, I think you had number 1. If you take a couple of minutes and just share what is in number 1. Cannot hear.
That I didn't. Yeah, that's what we have to do. I didn't do it.
Okay. Then I am going to read it and listen carefully as I go through this. This is a critical step in challenge solving or problem solving. Your statement of the problem should not communicate blame or judgment. Sending iMessages is the most effective way to express your needs. After you have stated your needs and feelings, try to verbalize your understanding of the other person's needs. If you don't know the other person's side of the conflict, ask for a description. Active listening is your best tool at this point. Take enough time to get the problem or conflict identified accurately and to actively listen to another person's feelings, especially any initial anger or defensiveness. Both you and the other person needs to get your feelings out before moving to the remaining steps in the problem-solving process. Don't be in a hurry to get to step 2. Be sure you understand the other person's point of view, and be sure you state yours accurately and congruently. Before moving to step 2, be sure both of you accept the definition of the problem. Test it out by asking the other person to accept or reject a statement of your problem. Both are trying to solve. Be certain that both sets of needs are accurately stated. Lastly, make certain the other person understands clearly that you are looking for a solution that will acceptably meet both of your needs, where neither you nor the other person will lose. So, you say, this is a problem that we have to let's problem solve. So, you get your needs clearly defined. You have them to give their needs and make sure it's clearly defined. Make sure that that person says, that is exactly how I feel. That is the problem from my point of view. And then you give your side, and until they understand, and then you will reply, yes, that's exactly what I am experiencing. That's exactly how I feel. Take your time identifying the problem. Don't try to rush through it. It is crucial that you understand their problem and they understand your problem. So that's step number 1. Once you clearly define the problem, and many of you have probably gone through a brainstorming technique. This is very similar. When you clearly identify the problem, now you come up with possible solutions. And you list those solutions. That's step 2. Kim, did you get a chance to read yours?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
No, we didn't get a chance to prepare for Passover.
Oh, okay.
We have a pulled up.
Okay. So, don't be in a hurry to get to step 2. Make sure step 1 is clear. You understand them, they understand you, and then you brainstorm. You can try this, you can try that, and as you know in brainstorming techniques, there is no bad solution. You list all of the solutions, and you get a good list of possible solutions. And make sure that as you list these solutions, no one is feeling judged by what they feel will be a good solution. You list them up. And then step 3. Who did I give step 3 to? Darian? Okay. I'm going to go through it.
Yeah, I have 3.
Okay. Were you able to look at yours?
I did.
Okay. Let's talk about evaluating the solutions. What'd you come up with?
Well, we kind of assessed the ideas that we all came up collectively with to see which would be the best that we both win.
Excellent. And then this is where also where you can start eliminating some of the decisions on your list. Because in step 2, you're going to generate solutions. You might come up with 10 possible solutions. And then step 3, you evaluate them. You may find out that 3 or 4 of them really would not be appropriate, and you start eliminating them. In step 2, you just list them. Step 3, you evaluate. And step 4. Did I give that to you, Rose? Okay. Step 4, you decide on a mutually acceptable solution. So you both agree, just like the mommy and the daughter, they agree that maybe they can have a long time during a time when she was taking a nap. But mommy said, well, maybe you don't need a nap, and maybe we can use that as our time, our alone time. So that was a possible solution. So you list that. And then step 5, implement the solution. And when you implement, start right away. Don't say, okay, well, next week. No. Today or tomorrow, whichever is feasible. We're going to start the implementation of this solution right away. And you probably remember a little girl says, Mommy, I want you to make a list, because you always forget. And when she told her mother she always forget, the mother did not get defensive. She did not say, no, I don't forget. No, she heard her daughter. She understood her daughter. Now, keep in mind, understanding does not mean agreement, but she understood her daughter feeling like she always forgets. So she was going to make a list and put it up on the door. And then number 6, evaluate the solution. So you will say, okay, we're going to today, instead of you taking your nap today, it's going to be just you and me. And so nap time will normally come in a couple of hours, but keep in mind that's going to be just your time and my time. And you do that a few days, and you check back with each other. How is it going? Is it flowing smoothly? You got to check with each other to see if the problem solving is working. The other person might feel like it's not working. You might feel like it's working fine. The other person might feel like it's not working. So you discuss that. So you come up with some other possible solutions. So when you evaluate the solution, keep in mind, you have to be willing to tweak it. And I recommend that if there's a problem between you and another person and you just doggone it cannot come eye to eye, and it's not working out as you would like, or the problem is so heavy that you need some structure as far as coming up with a solution, you bring out this chart. And you look at this chart. And you say, okay, first thing we have to do is define the problem. Let me hear what you see the problem as. And then let me tell you what I see as the problem. And you take your time with the problem, defining the problem. Make sure you understand them, make sure they understand you. And then once you're comfortable, generate some solution. What are some possible ways we can solve this? And then you evaluate. Okay, we have 5 solutions. Now, I don't think number 3 is going to be a good solution for me because, and you state your reason, but you evaluate your solutions, and then you decide on which ones you are going to use. And then you implement. After you implement, you check back with each other. How's it going? How's it working? Are you getting your needs met? I'm getting my needs met. Or are you getting your needs met? So use this chart when you have a conflict, and you make sure that the chart is followed exactly. and go through the 6 steps. Okay. Like I said earlier, guys, you at least you've been exposed to all the skills. You've been exposed to it. What you need now is to practice with real live problems, because whenever there's more people than just you, eventually you're going to have a conflict. Because everybody operates from their own vessel. So sit down, use these steps, and continue building on and increasing the effectiveness of relationships. Okay, guys, let me open it up for any questions. And okay. Again, yeah, go ahead, Kim.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
You can say something.
I was going to say, don't hesitate to call me. Call me if you have questions, or you want to say you have a conflict you want to work out with somebody on the job. Call me and we can practice before you talk to that person on the job. I just wanted to give that open invitation. Go ahead, Kim.
Thank you. So, with the problem-solving steps, all of this is pertaining to a conflict, right? So, when we do the 3-part I messages, do we also use these steps along with that?
The 3-part I message is only to let the other person know how you feel. That's all it's for, to let the other person know how you feel. And then active listening is to only hear what the other person is feeling. And once you've done that, and that's step 1, that's defining the problem in terms of needs.
Okay.
And if there's something that you ultimately want to get to, then use the chart and go through all 6 stages.
Got it. Okay.
Any other questions?
Vic said, can we go over it?
Go over what?
I'm not sure. 1 second. What do you want? He wants to describe the practice of how to transition through the challenge solving strategy. Oh, effective, not the chart. Can you hear me?
No, I can't.
Here you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
So I was going to briefly describe it to my own book. One is we're talking to somebody in I message. As you said in I message, if the person will they should be considered active listening. If they're not still, you should expect simultaneous interruption. If they interrupt, we active listeners, hear them all the way out. Once we hear them all the way out and actively explain, we transition, shifting gears back to our I message.
Right.
Once we receive our I message and both parties understood one another, meaning that it's clearly understood that both people are saying, we transition to a win-win situation. So we're trying to come up brainstorming with how both parties win. If it's someone who knows the skill, we can list them, and we don't need to be judgmental on listing the solution. So we should just list them all, and then at that point go back and assess what would be best for both parties. For example, if I say such, and the other person, well, I really don't agree with that. You go, okay. And I say such, I say, no, I don't agree with that. We move on to the next one of solution. Really trying to identify a solution.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that's kind of like what I was saying, like understanding the steps of my vessel and how, I guess, almost eliminate the problem, but this lesson of one person to have.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's something I know.
Okay. Now, one thing you said that brought up a situation I was in when I was brainstorming with teachers about something, and they came up with something that we were listing the possible solutions. And when you list possible solutions, don't judge. Whatever they come up with, you list that. But you don't, there's no judging there. And then once we had all of their solutions, then we went to step 3 and we evaluate. Now, I can't remember exactly what the situation was that one teacher came up with, but she came up with something like, then we need to buy laptops for all of the kids. Now, that was one of the solutions, and we left it up there as the solution. And then when we went to evaluate the solution, step 3, we had to take that off because it dealt with funding, and funding was beyond our parameters. We have to go through the district office to try to get the funding for laptops. Now, when the person gave that as a solution in step 2, I didn't say anything because there's no judgment. It was only when we got to step 3 and we evaluated that I have to tell her that is a district decision, not a school-based decision. So 2, you list all the possible solutions. Then 3, you evaluate the solution, and you go ahead and eliminate those that's not feasible, because you want to decide on the 1 or 2 solutions that will work for both of you. Okay, good job, Nick. Anyone else?
How long has this been a? I'm not sure if you know or anything, but what's the history of the methods that you teach?
What's the history?
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, man, I don't know how long this, these skills have been implemented, but I do know for this one particular skills that I'm working with you guys on, this was back in, let me see, the 70s.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's interesting that these skills are still relevant today. And I listen to other people come up with their brand new strategies, and it's the same thing. They just use different terms. Hey, Vic, you've been in the school district for a while, and some new person will come up, and they have a strategy, and it's Madeline Hunter. And then you think to yourself, that's the same thing I've been doing. But Madeline Hunter gave it a different name. See, some people will take strategies, name things differently, and then put it out there in the market and just make a mint off of selling their strategies. These strategies are not, they're old strategies, and they are effective strategies. But the thing is, most people have not been exposed to them. Anyway, back to your question. This came out in this book that I send you readings from back in the 70s. And that's when I was exposed to it, back in the 70s.
What did you take in the skills back in the 70s, or were you aware of it and then you made it maybe years later to implement it?
Well, I was not aware of using the skills in a complete package or a complete system. I was aware of a segment, but as a complete system for communication, no, this was brand new for me, and it totally revolutionized my outlook as far as building relationships.
I've always thought, man, you were an amazing communicator. You know, that's one thing that when I talk about you, I'm like, man, he's such amazing communicator. I didn't know you were using mind tricks on us, man.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said that, because one of the points is this. Remember when we talked about intent? What is your intent? And you do not use these skills as a form of manipulation. It's important. Your intent is your relationship. That's your intent. But you do not use these skills as a form of manipulation, because some way, somehow, that other person is going to pick that up. They're going to detect something is not right here. So thank you for bringing that up. You don't play mind tricks on folks. You don't manipulate them, because that's not your intent. Your intent is to make sure that you hear them. That's your intent. Your intent is to let them know what you need, so that you can get your needs met. So you give the I message. But the bottom line is effective communication. That's the goal.
Totally agree.
Amen. Anyone else?
It's really helping the second time around, because the first time we had this course, we were kind of like, okay, now we need to start practicing using it. And then the second time that since we started the course again, I feel like I'm more aware that I'm not using it, and I have a decision to make whether I intentionally use it or I don't use it on purpose.
Yes.
And it's kind of like an internal battle, because you have this conflict that you're trying to deal with, but then you have a conflict within yourself, because you're like, I should be using a skill, but I am not about to use a skill right now. So I didn't have that internal conflict the first time we had the course, but I'm having it the second time.
Yeah. Guys, I'm telling you, these skills, the closer you are in relationship to people, the harder it's going to be to use these skills. It is hard for me to use these skills with Carolyn or my boys. It's easy for me to use the skills with my neighbor, someone on the job. But the closer you are, the harder it's going to be to use these skills. So I just want you to know that. Have that in, I want you to know that cognitively, so that when you're working, I mean, you have to kind of shake it off and say, Larry, use the skills, Larry, use the skills. Because if you don't use the skills, you know what's going to happen. I can guarantee you what's going to happen. You know, so you really have to force yourself to hear them call your name, force yourself to hear them misunderstand you. Because all you're trying to do is understand. And understanding does not mean agreement. But people will be more likely to listen to you if they feel that you listen to them first.
Ain't that true?
Hey, it's tough. It's tough. So effective.
How do you feel that you knowing these skills? How do you think it takes effect with you and Grandma's marriage?
Well, next week we will be married 26 years. Yeah.
Congratulations.
April 3rd. And, you know, I love Carolyn so much. But I tell you, man, you know, I used to say this, but I used to say this like, and it kind of bothered Carolyn first, but she's not around, so I'm gonna say it to you guys. But so she's so weird. She's weird, and some of the things she says, things he do, and but you know what? To her, I'm weird. You know, we are out of two separate vessels. And you know, especially when you marry someone that's opposite of you, and you know, I'm thinking, how in the world did you come up with that? Doesn't make any difference. She came up with it, and that's how she feels. So I have to accept that. But yeah, sometimes when we get into discussions or arguments, it is so hard. But I know if I don't use the skill, I know what's going to happen. Sometimes I wanted to say something and I was going to, sing her. I had this smart, clever comeback, and I wanted to just put it to her. And I said, Larry, if you do that, it's not going to work. It's going to turn her off. But it was such a good comeback.
Call it a comeback now.
I had to do it. It was so good. And I did it. And I got the exact reaction that I thought I was going to get. She shut down. But it was a good comeback. But my intent, I have to say, Larry, what is your intent? Your intent is to develop and maintain this relationship. It's not to see who can have the cleverest comeback. No matter how good your comeback is, it's going to damage the relationship. So, she's different than me. I'm different than her. But we have to learn how to get together. And our intent is to develop and maintain our relationship. So, anyway, long way around to answering your question, but yeah, it helped tremendously.
I got it.
Carolyn went through this with me also, but I know she doesn't know the skills as good as I know the skills. So sometimes I'm thinking, well, when's somebody gonna listen to me? I have feelings too. Why am I the one always listening to other people? I need somebody to listen to me too. And I have this kind of pity party. But the fact of the matter is, the rule is seek first to understand and then to be understood. So my goal is to understand. And then after I understand, then I can go ahead and give my iMessage so I can be understood.
I got a question. You know that you and Carolyn taking skills, so you know she's exposed to the skills. Do you coach her through the skills in the midst of a dispute?
Sometimes, as a matter of fact, many times, I would say, Carolyn, wait a minute, hold it. What I said to you was in error, and I should not have done that. Let's start over. Let's start over and tell me how you feel, because you're important to me. It's important for me to know how you feel, so I have to start the conversation over. Sometimes I will say, Carolyn, I have a concern, and all I want you to do, just act as listen. That's all. No judging, no comeback. All I want you to do is just act as listen to me. And when she does, I feel so good, even though I had to tell her to do that. I feel so good because she got it right. So yes, when you're having conflict, sometimes you have to say, okay, let's use the skills, or I just want to be listened to. Just hear me out. Don't try to solve it for me. Just hear me out. Yeah. So yeah, we have to do that. We have to be creative as we communicate with each other.
All right, Dr. King, Vic said he had a statement.
Okay.
So I remember this is, I guess, redone, remastered, recopied, and of course, education, I think to remastered, recopied. Scripture is what it says. This is Proverbs 18:21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. Luke 6:35. A good man out of good treasures of his heart bringeth forth that which is good, and an evil man out of the evil treasures of his heart oneness of the heart is our big Ephesians 4:29. Let no corrupt communication out of your mouth, but that which is good through the use of edifying, that it may master grace unto the hearer. I'm gonna do this last one. Proverbs 13:3. He that keepeth his mouth keepeth his life, but that open wide his lips shall have destruction. So when we go basically inspiration, and it has like 66 more within the way we communicate with one another. So obviously it's important to understand that the way we talk to one another can ruin relationships, even unto death.
Amen. So how long have these skills been in existence? We can go all the way back to the Word. And I'm glad you pointed that out to me, Vic. Now, it is spread all throughout the Bible. Someone came up with a system and they put it into a package called effective training. But these skills and strategies are all throughout the Bible. Thank you, Vic. And Vic, if you wouldn't mind, would you just text me or email me those scriptures that you just read? That was awesome.
Yep.
Amen.
Yeah, that was great.
So, guys, this is the last session. But again, I want to open myself up to you guys and be available for you. So, if you have any questions, you want to practice, or you want to brainstorm, give me a call and we'll set up a time and I'll help you through that. And Father, we want to thank you, Lord, for this experience, Lord. I love these guys, Father, and I know you love them. And Lord, we want to thank you for bringing us together so we can share skills and learn from one another. And because our desire is to have good, solid relationships, especially with those that are our friends and our loved ones and our family, Father. Thank you, Lord, for all that you've done for us these last few weeks. And thank you for what you're going to do for us as we lead our lives into the future with the intent of building and maintaining relationships. Just want to thank you, Father, for all you've done for us, all that you will do. And we'll be careful to give you the praise as we come to you now in spirit, to the Master's name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Man.